Welcome back to the We Was Watching podcast. I'm your host, Brandon. We also have Sharmane. Oh, you gonna say it? You gonna say it?
I was gonna say it.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
And I'm your guest host, Sharmane.
What's happening with you, man? What you need, man? That ain't this now, man.
And
Sharmane does that to me all the time.
We are back to talk about Silo Season 3, Episode 6. But before we get into that, like our video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you can see us go live. We'll be doing the finale of House of the Dragon this Sunday. Hopefully, we should be if I'm back. And then you can watch it. And you can email the show. We was watching podcast at gmail.com. Tell us any theories you have about Silo. You can also follow us on all the social medias. Just search for We Was Watching. And also, if you're inclined to support the show, go to patreon.com/We Was Watching and support us that way. We have movie reviews. We will be having movie reviews on the Patreon. We're revisiting Marvel movies leading up to the Avengers movie and some other things. So go check out some of that content and support the show if you are so inclined. Sharmane, what did you think about episode 6 of Silo?
We're finally getting somewhere with the past a little bit. And I know
Are we?
A little bit.
The whole episode was in the car.
Yes, but why was the car being controlled? How was the car being controlled? Obviously, we're seeing a technology that is being introduced. I think it's definitely more information than we've had before.
Well, they said last time that they want that some AI like billionaire or something was doing something, and they wanted to find out about him. So I'm assuming that the AI billionaire has something to do with this controlling the car. But we didn't meet them, so I guess we'll start there. So the whole episode is they're in this car, and the car is driving by itself, and they don't know where the fuck it's going. And first, they're trying to figure out if they can stop it or get out. They realize that that's not happening. So then they was like, all right, let's just go sit in the back. Because some good Samaritan will say, wow, that car is driving by itself. And they'll call the cops and they'll stop us and then we'll be good to go. But they see some cops show up and the cops ain't there to stop them. The cops are an envoy to help them get to where they're going. But while they were on there, they had some heart-to-heart moments, and Helen explains to Daniel why she actually lost her job at the Post. And it was because she was trying to protect the source, and that source was someone in Congress.
Yeah.
Which was
someone's in Congress assistant,
yeah. So they get to where they're supposed to go. It's a hangar somewhere, and they get out the car and they get greeted by, what was the congresswoman's name? What's her name?
Oh, why is that escape me? She's a gender swap. Her name is Senator. It's gone. It's gone.
I don't know. Thurman. Senator Thurman.
Thurman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Senator Thurman is there.
And I should know that because there's a thing about Thurman in the book. It's not a spoiler because I'm not going to say it, but I should have remembered that because there's a thing about it.
Senator Thurman's there, and she basically says, all right, guys, I mean, y'all kept going on this, so I'm going to give y'all the chance to save the world. And that's all we know from that point, is that she's going to give them a chance to save the world. So that's the past. Back in the future, in the silo, Jules is back in Jules mode. And she's running around, and she went back downstairs. She told everybody she got her memories back, but she couldn't remember everything. Like, she remembered most of what Solo said, but she couldn't remember like exactly how to do it. She just remembers that there was a blueprint. What were you gonna say?
She's also the most like emotional that we've seen her, kind of, like it's probably really triggering to have all that rush back into you, but she actually seems to like, there's an urgency and a care now where usually she tries to, brush off emotion.
So I thought that was interesting. The reaction was they mostly believed her, which was good. I thought somebody for sure was going to be against her, but they weren't. Meanwhile, Robert goes back upstairs to talk. Well, not go upstairs, but Camille comes downstairs to talk to him. Well, not even
Trying to look all
downstairs,
intimidating.
down the lift to talk to
Yeah.
him.
She's basically on a little swing. Just do
And she basically says, like, go back upstairs. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. Like, did Jules get away? He's like, yeah, Jules got away. And she's like, all right. And then she calls on the radio. She's like, somebody keep an eye up on him. So she's starting to mistrust him at this point.
and treating him like a child. Go to your room.
So he goes back upstairs. So back in downstairs, they're talking about what she remembers. And Bernard basically talks about, like, yeah, there's a line that comes in, that there's two lines that comes from the outside into the silo. One of them is to keep the power on in IT if the power goes out, if the generator goes down. And
Which
then
we've seen in the earlier seasons.
Yeah, because they had to run and turn the lights off so they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And then the other one goes into judicial. And so they're like, oh, then that's got to be it. Like, it's got to be in judicial. But they don't know exactly, like, where it is in those things. So they're trying to figure that shit out. But they need, like, she brings up Solo. And she's like, oh, Solo knows. Maybe we can go over there and talk to Solo. And then Walker talks about how she knows that there's channels to reach over there. Maybe she'll try to figure something out. But ultimately, her idea is to get somebody to go over there to talk to him. So she goes to Camille because they find out that Camille's on the hunt for her downstairs. And so that she wouldn't go in there and catch everybody harboring her, she comes out and meets her and says, let's talk somewhere. And with no cameras. And she doesn't tell her everything. She just says, like, I remember shit. And what I remember, I need to talk to the algorithm. Well, the voice. So Camille takes her up to the voice. And she's like, hey, dog, there's some kids in Silo 17. And, you know, Jules love the kids, man. Jules love the kids. And we need to save them kids. So can I send somebody over there to get the kids? And he's like, can I go over there? She's like, no. And it's like, well, can I send someone over there? And the voice was like, no. And Camille's like, see, I told you, now get the fuck out of here. And then Jules was like, hold on. What if I promise to take the medicine? Okay. And they'll take the medicine. You go over there, you get the kids, you give them the forgetting medicine. You give me the forgetting medicine. Then we not no threat. And then the algorithm was like, all right, I mean, I'm open to that, but you got to let me know who you sending over there. And Camille's like, what the fuck? What you mean you open to it? Like, she was so upset at the voice for entertaining this.
It's funny too, because like she's behaving like she's, of course, not trusting Jules, but also offended that Jules is existing, kind of. But she is the one that lied to Jules, so that if any trust that they don't have between us starts with Camille. But she's sitting there acting like everybody is supposed to.
Yeah, she's like, you lied to me. She's like, what? You lied to me. What are you talking
You lied
about?
to me and took my memory.
So after that happens, we'll get to there's three storylines. There's the past, there's this, and then there's the buddy cops. So after that, they go outside and Jules is trying to figure out, like, all right, how are we going to do this? So she goes back down and talk to Walker. And she's like, if we send somebody over there, it's got to be an engineer. It's got to be somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. We can't just, and they're not going to let me go. So it's got to be somebody who can handle it. And they're basically like, well, we know who that has to be. Like, we know it has to be Knox and Shirley. And so Jules goes to talk to Knox and Shirley. And we'll get to why Knox is pissed off, but he's already a little pissed off when she goes to talk to them. But she goes to talk to Knox and Shirley, and Knox is like, nope, I'll go. She will stay. And Jules is like, it can't be just one person. Like, both of y'all have to go. And then she's like, let me talk to him. Knox says that. And so then Knox and Shirley, they talk about Shirley. Then we already knew Shirley was pregnant, right?
Yes.
I think we knew that already.
It was more like of a subtle, just kind of holding the belly exchange between the two of them, right?
I thought it was more explicit than that because I wasn't shocked when I saw it. So maybe I just picked up on the stuff.
No, you're right. I mean, they were having a moment, the two of them. I don't think anybody else knows, but I feel like maybe it was a conversation about how we gotta take care of this guy or some shit like that. It's kind of fuzzy for me right now.
So Shirley's like, listen, our child ain't gonna have no life if we don't do this. They're just gonna kill us. So like, either we do it, we got to do it together. And Knox says, if something happens to me, you go. You don't fucking stop. You don't try to save me. You go. So I wonder if they're foreshadowing something happening to him. I hope not, because I like Knox.
What seems crazy about that is, you know, he says the whole thing about like, if anything happens to you, I don't come back from that. Like I'm wrecked, so I might as well. He doesn't say it, but he's like basically implying I might as well kill myself if something happens to you. But then he asks her to just keep going if something happens to M, not even considering the fact that it might be the same for her. I mean, I know she's got a kid carrying, but
I think that was the point. It was like you got the kid with you. I guess that was the point. So then we go upstairs and Camille gets home from a hard day as head of IT. And she come in and Robert just sitting there like a black family with the kid. And she's like, tell your mama what you did. Tell her, go on. Tell her what you did. And he's like, you know what? Shut up. I'll tell her what you did. And your son took some credits from some kids, from the teacher in class, and then blamed it on some other kids. And Camille gave him his full name and everything and was like, what the fuck? And they was like, that's right. I went and talked to him. They said if he does it again, he's going to be expelled and get sent to supply. And so they told his ass to go to bed. And then Camille was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on with all this? And Robert is talking subliminally to her. And she's like, are you talking about our son or are you talking about something else? And he was like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Are you talking about our son or are you talking about something else? And she said to him, she's like, I know you've been up to some shit. And if I find out, I'm going to have to do something about it. So stop that shit. And he was like, are you threatening me? Well, he didn't say that, but that's basically what he said. And so they're a little bit at odds. I don't know why he didn't just tell her. Does he think she can't lie to the fucking voice?
I mean, he doesn't probably know about the extent at which she was chosen, right? Because she wasn't in there, or he wasn't in there when the algorithm said, you know, I chose you because you're a good liar.
Yeah, but Bernard told him that she knows about the safeguard. And he knows that they're trying to stop the safeguard. And he knows that she's doing all this stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because of the safeguard. She don't want them to let the safeguard happen and take everybody out. So I don't know why he doesn't just tell her, hey, man, just bullshit the voice a little bit. We know how to stop the safeguard. And if we stop the safeguard, they can't do shit to us.
I wonder if his trust is shaken enough to think that she would let it all burn rather than lose.
That's possible.
Because what else could it be, right? Like they're so at odds right now. Are you withholding information because you're at odds and you want them to apologize first before you get softer? You know, like marriage is such a weird thing, but in this dynamic, they're the two most powerful people outside of Jules in the silo in terms of decision making. And they're working towards the same goal you think, but you can't tell sometimes.
She goes back to the algorithm and completely crashes out. It's so much on me as a mother, as a leader, as a head of IT. I can't take
have
it all. I'm crashing out. I can't do this. And the algorithm gave her some therapy. It's like Camille, take a breath. It's okay. I chose you because you can handle this.
It's okay
to get your negative thoughts out, and getting your negative thoughts out and saying it. I don't get upset for you saying that. It's okay. You can express yourself to me. And I see that your heart rate is lowered since you've been able to do that, so you're starting to feel better. And she's like, oh my God, I'm starting to feel better. How does he know how to do this? Like, what the fuck?
He's
And
like, take a spa day.
that's exactly what he said. He says, take a
You
day,
need a
get
spa
yourself
day,
together. I'll be here when
massage
you come back. I'll be straight. And Camille's like, God damn, I like this fucking voice. He cares about me. Because he even said to her, like, you're not looking for an answer. You're looking for an argument.
I know,
like,
that was a really good line. That was a really good line.
I was like, this is a real therapist. That's exactly what
Feels
your
like it,
therapist
yeah.
would say to you. And so she leaves to get herself together. And the next time we see this group of people is later in the episode with Jules trying to figure out like what to do with Camille. And she's like, you ain't sending Knox and Shirley. I ain't letting Knox and Shirley go. If they go, the silo's going to be fucked because they're the two main people that can fix engineering if something goes wrong. And the algorithm's not going to let them go because they going to say that it's stupid and they can't go. So do you have any other options? And she says, what about Lucas Kyle and Patrick, what's his name?
Kennedy.
Patrick Kennedy. She's like, you know where they at? She's like, don't worry about if I know where they at. Can they go? And she's like, oh, let's go ask the algorithm. At this point, Camille's all confident the algorithm's going to tell her no. So on the way back up, she checks with the water people, and they are right at the place to put the vitamin D plus in the water. So it ain't going to be long before that shit starts to happen.
But they have a strange exchange, which gives me a pause about it too, right? Because she tells them,
she told them to take off something, right? Turn off something.
Yeah, turn off the what's the word? Osmosis. Anyways, basically, whatever the thing that helps purify water. Yeah. I know what it does because you have it in your home filter thingies or whatever. She tells him to turn that off, and that made him go. And then rather than just be like, have some sort of explanation, she's like, we got a problem, which would make you suspicious if your job is to protect the cleanliness of the water. I don't know.
Also, that's a way to reverse it if they need to reverse it.
Osmosis. I got it.
So they go in and she tells the algorithm, goes, who'd you choose, Jules? And she goes, Knox and Shirley. And you should see Camille in the background. She's so smug. She's like, oh, run the numbers. Go ahead. Run the numbers. What you think about Knox and Shirley, Mr. Algorithm? And he goes, that'll put the silo at a 33% more chance of fucking up or whatever. So the answer's no. She's like, what? She's like, the answer's no. It'll fuck us up. And she's like, I need them. And then she's like, no. And she's like, okay. Who else? And she's like, Patrick Kennedy and Lucas Kyle. And he goes, I approve. Go ahead. Yeah, they're good. He said it so fast. I approve.
It's so fast.
They can go.
That calculation was hella fast. What's crazy about not even allowing one, well, I guess for suspicion reasons, it makes sense why they wouldn't do Knox and Shirley. But in terms of the argument that the silo would be destroyed, Jules saved the silo's generator before. So you can make an argument that one of them can go.
Oh, that's true. She could replace them.
And say like the engineer is important because of all the different problems of trying to get in and out of the silo. Maybe, someone who actually knows how to move things mechanically. I don't fucking know. I think you can make an argument for it, knowing that Jules is there and could take care of the silos generator.
Can she be mayor and chief engineer at the same time?
I mean, she don't give a fuck about being mayor in the first place, even though the people voted for her and stuff like that. I think she'd be just as happy to go back down to the silo or to the deep. My question about the Forget Me Now is, do they remember how to do their jobs?
Well,
because someone's going to have to know how to do all the jobs. If they refresh everybody, is it only
seems
targeting?
Like it's just personal memories.
Yeah. Because one of the questions that they ask is whether or not their child is going to remember them. So is that about general memory or is that about like the programming? Because wouldn't you know your parents? Well, maybe not. I don't know. I've never had amnesia, so.
So then after she's like, Camille's like, what the fuck? And she's like, Algorithm's like, chill, she's still in here. Let her go. And so Jules walks out, and then the algorithm, and then Camille's like, what are you doing? You gonna let them go? And he goes, Patrick Kennedy and Lucas Kyle will never make it to Silo 17. And then Camille's like, that's what I'm talking about, dog. And so that's where we end with that. And then the other storyline this episode is Billings and Hank trying to investigate about Orla Kent. And listen, Billings has just had it up to here. He is just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, he is.
But the people down in the lowers don't really fuck with police except Hank. Like the only police they like is Hank.
Yeah. And that's just because he's a local boy. But they still don't seem to respect him as a cop. He's just a homie.
Yeah, because they go to talk to Mark, who's the dude in the wheelchair who made the weapons for Knox last season. And he's just completely disrespectful. Why the fuck would I help this pig? Fuck you. Get out of my room. And,
I like that guy.
And then Billings, because Billings used to be Dudley Do Right, Mr. By the Book. Everything is how it should be. And now he's like negotiating. He's like, hey, dog, listen. You said some raiders threw your buddy over the railing, right? And you said it wasn't on the up and up. He ain't deserve it. Okay, let's say I believe you. What if I get you their names? He's like, oh, yeah, so what? So that you can trick me? He's like, no. Whatever you do with those names, I ain't know nothing about it. You can have the names, whatever you do, I ain't know nothing about it. But you tell me about this person that you know, what you know about stolen goods down here, and I'll get you the names of the people who fuck with you. What did you think about that?
This is wild. It's wild because now he's at the level of compromising his principles, which I understand that his principles have been tested and, that the pact is still kind of his responsibility, but he knows that, what other people read and what he's going to know is going to be different. But this is straight up compromising his principles as like a good person. And I know he's deteriorating, but this one's rough to me. Like that it's gotten to this point for him. And I think part of it is just he's straight up exhausted. He hasn't rested one bit. And the other part is he's so compelled to, I got to try to fix something. Let me fix one thing in this fucked up place so I can feel good about myself, is what I kind of think is going on with him. But that's pretty wild.
So he then tells him that that there's this guy. What?
Sorry. There's a note I wrote about showing that Billings is so exhausted. He's not really doing his job well in general. And even Hank, who I kind of think of as sort of like a bumbling type of guy, like, he's probably perfectly nice or whatever. But Hank picks up on, if you find who is stealing from supply, you find who killed Orla or vice versa. Whereas Billings was thinking you had to solve these as two separate things.
Right.
One is just a murder and the other one is the murder of the entire silo potentially. And the fact that he didn't get there, but Hank did, kind of speaks volumes to him needing to take a step back.
Mark says, you know that jacked up handsome guy that's running around with Shirley that I made the weapons for? Yeah. Knox, him. His daddy was crooked as a screw. Just the worst piece of trash you could ever meet. He knew all the stealing shit in the world. He had a black market site. He got rich off of it. He's the diamond drills that we used to drill and shit. He used to take them shit and sell them as jewelry. Just completely fucked up. If I was going to find something stolen in the silo, that's where I would look. And so Billings and Hank was like, thank you. And they leave out to go on this goose chase. So then They go to talk to Knox, and Knox is like, what do you want? Because they don't like him either.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, tell me about your daddy. And Knox has that triggered him immediately. And he was like, what the fuck you want with my dad? And he was like, well, there's some stolen goods missing. And I heard your daddy was the chief thief in this place. And he was like, so are you going to tell me where he is, or are you going to protect him? And Knox was like, if you say one more word, I'm going to beat the shit out of you right now. And he's like, you down here, ain't nobody going to protect you. I will beat the fuck out of you. And then
Billings has no authority as a police officer. I don't think he ever could, though. He's not the...
But he jumped at Knox. Remember, Hank had to hold him back. Like he was going to fight.
No, he did. But I think it's that whole thing about like he's deteriorating so much, and because he doesn't naturally have authority, he doesn't know how to wield his authority. So he tries to hardball somebody when he doesn't have any context. Like he could just ask questions about like, hey, do you have a relationship with your dad because we got something going on? Instead, it's like, I'm already assuming you're protecting this man and you know that he's stealing. That's the vibe. And so, yeah, as a person who also had a bad dad, I'd want to knock him out too.
And then Hank sits him down and is like, look, you gotta calm the fuck down, dude. He's like, listen, let's take a step back. You talked to Carla. She said that she has some beef with the new girl. Why don't we start there? And Billings was like, I already talked to her. I ain't find shit. Wasn't nothing concrete. What the fuck you want me to do? She's like, calm down. Maybe if we revisit it, we'll figure some shit out. And he takes a second to think about it. And he was like, what if we track them? And she's like, how? And so they go to talk to the raider. And he's like, where the fuck are the cameras? She tries to close it. She tries to lie to him and says, oh, they got rid of that place. He was like, no, they didn't. I'm rewriting the fucking pack. I would know if they got rid of it. Take me to the fucking place with the cameras. So she takes him to the little hideout where we always go to, that Bernard used to always go to watch people in the silo with all the security cameras. And they get there and they're looking at this footage. Now this completely freaked me out. Not freaked me out, but they're looking at this footage and they're going back to the time of when they found Orlikin's body. And she goes, you're going to see some shit. Just want to warn you. You're going to see some shit that looks a little bit suspicious, okay? It's going to appear to you that the exterminators went in there on their own. He's like, why the fuck did they go? You guys poisoned them shits. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so then they look at it and they see Glenda going into the mines. And it's like, what the fuck is she doing in the mines? And so Billings is like, go 10 levels up or whatever to where supply is. Go 10 levels up. Same time. And so they're playing it through. And then they stop it and Glenda's walking in supply. And he goes, is this the same time? And he's like, how the fuck is that possible? And she goes, it's within 10 minutes. And he's like, she got from the mines to supply in 10 fucking minutes? No way. What is going on here? So I already know, but when you saw this, how did you feel about that?
I was wondering, my first thought was twins, but they haven't shown us any twins and they haven't alluded to it. And I imagine because of population control, they probably don't let people keep the second one. That one was my first thought. And my second thought was actually correct, so I'm not going to say.
And then Knox goes to talk to Glenda's daddy. I think that's Glenda's daddy in the mines, Ed Hardwood.
Yeah, that's him.
Because he's like, I want to talk to my dad. And he's like, oh, can you speak to the dad? You know how to talk to the poltergeist? Because that motherfucker died 2 years ago. He's like, what? Ain't nobody tell me? He just died and no one said nothing? And so that was a little bit of revelation for Knox that his daddy did. And so now we know that it's not his daddy who's stealing shit, which we always knew because they weren't going to just bring up a random person to have them steal shit. And so all of the evidence is pointing towards Glenda and Ed and something going on with them with both the stealing and the death of Orla Kent. Linda is her shadow. Ed runs the mines. Orla was found in the mines. We see Linda going from the mines to supply, being secretive. Something is going on there that we're going to have to figure out.
Because she does say to Billings in the last episode, right? Like, I was a little bit relieved to lose the shadow job because it gave me a chance to go home for a little bit. And then Billings says something about that's the mines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then because her dad went off on Orla at the meetup because she stole her job, like there's clearly bad blood between them anyway. But that whole I want to visit, I want to go home and visit my dad thing sounds like a misdirect when she's talking to the cops.
That was the episode. Anything else that you wanted to talk about in this episode?
I thought some of the scenes in the past between Helen and Danny is funny because they're making eyes at each other, but they just have that bar light, just so you can see just the eyes, and it's like, oh, so pretty eyes, back and forth, back and forth. They talk about the Pez dispenser, so we get another reference to the Pez dispenser. I used to have that Pez dispenser because I collect rubber duckies. I wonder if I still have it.
I wonder if people know what that is today who are like under 35.
Oh, they're still out there. You can still get Pez dispensers. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can still get them. They don't seem as popular though, because I remember like that was a huge gift. Like if we did good in school or something like that, we got to do a Pez. And then you'd have all these Pez dispensers, but you wouldn't get permission to get Pez unless you did good or some shit like that. So they were special to me growing up. But yeah, they're still out there. You can still get them.
All right. Anything
Can I ask
else?
a question?
You can ask anything you want.
What, if any, theory do you have about what the connection of the past and the future is, as maybe it relates to the Pez dispenser or not?
The algorithm's voice sounds a little bit like Daniel to me, or at least inspired by Daniel. And so I've been picking on that for a little while. I still don't know how we get to the silo. Have they started building the silos in the past yet? Like, I don't know if we know that. Like, I can't tell where we are.
I don't think we know that. I don't think we know that yet. Because what we're seeing in the past is pretty much like the sort of espionage aspect of the event in Iran and general politics and, obviously someone's watching us type of stuff. Like, so I don't think we've gotten into an explanation about, she jumps in this episode. Helen jumps to, was it Helen or Daniel jumps to Iran being somehow responsible for something. It wasn't just the flights, right? They're in the car and they're talking. I should have written this down. They reference he says something like, what, you think Iran is controlling the car or something like that? Doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he does say that. Yeah, because of the dirty bomb.
Yeah. So it seems like the way that they're going is thinking that Iran is coming for it. Iran's doing something with this. We have this evidence of what happened in Iran with our military, and then now this car is being under control. Does that mean Iran's doing something? So yeah, we haven't learned anything about the silo specifically, but what we have seen is pieces in place for something, obviously, because we have the Pez dispenser and we have some implication that something happened in the past that led to this future.
I'm hoping I might watch. I'm hoping we find out soon. I'm so into this season. You don't even understand. Yeah. I'm so into this season.
I know I keep saying it, but this continues to be like, oh gosh, this is my favorite translation of a book into a show or a book into a movie thing. Most of the changes they've made, I think, play out a lot better as a TV show than it would have in the book. Like, I get why it's so long in the book because, you're trying to write a big old book or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
the changes that they've made have been pretty clean. I think I can see that you still get there to what happens in the end of the third book,
Mm-hmm.
even though the changes are significantly different. Like this whole season, almost nothing is the same as
Oh,
the book.
okay.
Um, literally, like the people, like some of the people that we know of are in the book. Like that's pretty much it.
That's it.
But some of them have different names and different genders. The tasks are kind of a little bit different. But yeah, I like this interpretation, and I'm hungry for next season, even though we're not even done with the third season yet.
All right. Are you gonna do the outro, Charmaine?
Yeah, I couldn't get a clever one together for this one because I'm still trying to get there. But I want to say something about, like, as infuriating as it is, it's important to keep your secrets close and keep your enemies close, I guess, kind of a thing too. I don't have a good thing for it. I'll get better. But if we was watching is watching it, you should be watching it too.